When I was working with ICICI Bank in Delhi, we had gone for a training. That training program was conducted by a Sikh gentleman. He was a retired officer from Indian Army and he had retired from a very senior post. He shared a real life incident, his own experience with us, and that is what I am going to share with you now. He said that a long time back there was an international level conference. In that conference, the delegates, the representatives from almost all the countries across the world had come, and most of them they were from defense forces of different countries. So when this Sikh gentleman he was representing India, and when he was addressing the gathering, after his address, everybody was given an opportunity to ask a question, one or two questions. And at that point of time, he said, one American soldier, he got up and he said, I have to ask you a few things. The first question he asked was, at that point of time, there was a cyclone that had hit America, and it had proved to be very disastrous. At that point of time, India had sent food grains as an humanitarian aid for the United States. So that American soldier, he said that what I didn't like is, why did my country, which is the most powerful country in the world, it take aid from India at that point of time? Secondly, he asked him that whenever we send a team, disaster management team, we always have psychiatrists in that team, but I have seen that when you Indians, you send a disaster management team, you don't have psychiatrist in that. What is the reason behind it? So to answer his questions, this Indian officer, he shared with him that in India we have a culture that unfortunately if somebody dies in any family, at that time the neighbors, the relatives, they don't let that particular family to cook food for a couple of days, and everybody gathers at their home and they help them out. Now when they don't allow them to cook food at their home and everybody they are bringing food and other items from their homes itself, that doesn't mean that this particular family has become poor or they can't afford it. The reason behind it is that in that moment of pain, in that moment of grief, everybody who is gathered here, they are making them feel that we are with you, we are there to stand by you, we are there to support you. They make them feel loved and cared for, they make them feel that everybody understands their pain and everybody is with them at that particular point of time. So that is the reason why everybody helps them out. It is not that they can't afford to cook food for those couple of days. So he said it was the same culture or it was the same gesture that India showed to the United States when India sent that humanitarian aid. And then he also replied to his second question and said, it is because of this culture in India that we don't need a psychiatrist in our teams. Because people around, they are so helpful, so loving and caring, they are so concerned about each other that they don't let the suffering people feel lonely. They are always there to take care of them, they are always there to support them. They make them feel that everybody is a part of their pain, everybody is a part of their grief, and that particular gesture and this culture itself, it makes things quite easy for them, and those people who are suffering at that point of time, they are able to pull out of that particular very difficult and depressing and stressful, painful situation of grief and despair. So why I'm telling you this particular incident and why I shared this story with you is the point I am trying to drive home here is that earlier, if you ask your parents, if you ask your grandparents, they will tell you that people were much better at their time than what they are now. With the passage of time, the values, human values, have degraded. People have become thankless, people have become selfish, people have become egoistic. They only know what they want. For them, ego is more important than other person, and it is more important than the relationship itself. Now we are surrounded by such people, let it be inside our home or outside our home. This is the problem that we are facing now. Now, when we have such people around us, those who are inside the family, any relative of ours, let it be brother or sister or father or mother or husband, wife, son, daughter, anybody for that sake, those people, this kind of people, they are negative people, they are toxic people, and if they have few bad habits, you can say they have bad habits. But if these habits cross a limit and they become a reason of pain for you, then we say that such people are mentally sick. And if it goes ahead, it moves, it increases more, then we come to something that is called as, these people can be called as narcissists, these can be called as toxic people, poisonous people, damaging people, negative people. We will discuss all these things in details in sessions to come, because these are very detailed, very vast topics that we need to understand. For now, what we need to understand is that the people who are closest to us, with whom we are living, whom we cannot leave and go, and because they are closest to us, we love them, we care for them, and they matter the most to us, these are the people who hurt us the most. These are the people who damage us the most, because we expect from them, and it is very natural to expect. When you are giving something, you at least expect a minimum level of human courtesy, and you expect them to have some concern about you, if not more than that. But such people, they are, if they are toxic, if they are negative, they can be verbally abusive, they can be physically abusive also. But the most common form of abuse in relationships today is the emotional abuse. Now the thing is, if somebody is verbally abusing using bad words, he or she can be clearly noticed and everybody will say that this is wrong, don't do it. If somebody is physically abusive, he or she lifts the hand and hits you, that is also seen as very bad, and it is not at all accepted in the society. But the problem with emotional abuse is, somewhere we have accepted it as a part of the nature of other person. Now we won't get into too much of details, but let me explain it to you in short, how you would define this emotional abuse. Emotional abuse means somebody doesn't care for your feelings, somebody doesn't care for your concern, somebody doesn't care for your emotions, and they do something or they say something which hurts your emotions, hurts your feelings, which hurts the very base of the relationship that you share with them. Now here what happens, you might have come across such a situation where you are a victim of somebody's emotional abuse, and it hurts you so badly that ultimately in that anger or frustration you end up abusing them verbally. You use some wrong word. Now that particular person, because he or she has not used a wrong word or abusive word, can blame you that you said this, you said that, you used a wrong word, you abused me verbally. But you might have noticed that at that point of time, what you feel or what you say in return is that even the worst verbal abuse, even the worst bad word that I would use, will be less insulting, which will be less damaging, which will be less hurting or degrading than the way you have behaved. Because you have hurt my feelings, you have hurt my emotions so badly that it has hurt me deep within my mind, deep within my heart. You have hit below the belt. We say that in every relation, even if you are fighting with somebody, you are angry with somebody, there should be at least some minimum lowest level below which you should not fall, below which you should not hit the other person, you should not insult the other person, you should not hurt the other person, so that it does not hit the very base of your relationship. So that is what is called as emotional abuse. So people, we are living with such people inside the home and as well as outside the home. Now the other problem is, even outside the home, we have majority of people, they fall in this category. They change colors in such a way that it is beyond your belief that somebody can do like this also. You will be surprised, you will be shocked. So outside the home also, it is very difficult to find somebody with whom you can share this pain, you can share this suffering, you can speak your heart out, and it is very difficult to find somebody who really understands you, whom you can trust, who loves you, who cares for you, and who doesn't judge you but who genuinely tries to understand your problem and tries to support you. So inside the home we have the problem, outside the home also we have the same problem. So you cannot share with your cousins, you cannot share with your other relatives who are not a part of your home, you feel scared to share your personal things with your friends. So even outside the home also, it is very difficult to find somebody supportive, somebody genuine, somebody who is really concerned, somebody who is not selfish, somebody who loves you, who takes care of you, who is genuinely concerned about you. So these are the reasons why today the problems of stress, the problems of depression, these are going from bad to worse, and we see that the cases, such cases, these are increasing day by day. So that's all for the present session. If I keep on discussing everything, it will be too long. In the next session, we will try to find out answers to two things. Number one, how social distancing or social isolation that we are going through because of lockdowns and coronavirus and other things, these are affecting our mental health, and what all we should do during this particular time so as to help ourselves to come out of it. So thanks a lot for being there and for watching this video. I feel this would have been of some help to you. If you feel so, I would request you to kindly share it with your family and friends and subscribe to our channel. Thank you. Thanks a lot.